Well, hello my YouTube friends. Today it is my utter pleasure and my honor actually to present you this beautiful knife and his maker, Mr. Glenn Hovin, coming directly from Norway. This is a young knife maker. Actually, I think of him really high. I think he's going to be one of the makers that will count the most in the years to come. And I will present you this knife and you will let me know in the comment section what you think of that guy. But truly, I have been absolutely amazed since he sent me that knife. And actually, if you follow him on his Instagram page, you're going to see that it's a very active page when he shows a lot of work in progress, the way he works, which is basically without absolutely no machine. This guy is working the hard way and the old way, the vintage way, without any kind of machine, no surface grinder, nothing. Actually, he's going to start using some belts and some grinder, but basically no real machine. He's working absolutely everything by hand, and you're going to see how difficult it is when you make those kind of build. So really nice guy, also very nice person to chat with. He wanted me to put that knife on trial, which I did, but right off the bat I want to make some precision. This is a knife that he did for himself, so that's why it's a lefty first build, and he didn't put the extra care, what I call the extra mile, you know, when you do the last fix in order to present a knife to your customer that will be absolutely pristine. So since it was a knife for him, he didn't do the last touches. So maybe from the very first time when I opened the blade, when I deployed it, you have seen that the grind here is very rough and raw. You can see also, if I focus on that, that here the satin, you see all the marks of the heat treatment. Yeah, of course, if you look at it like that, and I'm telling you that this is a knife that I bought, you're all gonna say that I became crazy. But it's not that. It is a knife that he made for himself, and he didn't, you know, it was not for him useful to do that, because that was not his intention. His intention was to make and to build a knife with a lot of features that are absolutely extraordinary, and that we're gonna look at that now. But the extra care, the extra finish that you're going to put with the hand rub and everything, this is something that was not a matter of concern for him, as it's not also a matter of concern to get for his knife. Again, you know that the junction here are not absolutely seamless everywhere, but this is something that is easy to fix, and if he didn't do it, it was because it was his kind of test knife, I would say, and he knew by sending me this knife that this would be understood, that there were these flaws, but that doesn't impact on the great feature that this knife has. And we're going to talk about those features starting now. A knife for me is, of course, first of all, a tool, but a tool, you can get it when you buy a Spyderco, Benchmade, whatever. If you go to a custom knife, it has to do with something else. The something else is what? It's going to be the artistry, the craft, the mechanical features, the challenges, you know, that you have, the engineering challenges that you have for a custom maker when he works without a machine like that. Those are the points that are interesting when you enter the custom world. So right off the bat, if we talk about the artistic features, man, it's screaming from everywhere. Not talking about the design, but look at that. The fact to add those materials together, the challenges also that are, you know, artistic and also technical, the challenges to put a totally screwless, because you have seen that this, what we have to call the presentation side on this knife, has absolutely no screw. It's all hidden screw, but not only with the scale and one bolster, but no, he pushes at the limits and go and do like a double bolster like that, just for the artistry and also for the you know, the difficulties, technical difficulties to do that with a seamless junction here without any screws appearing. On the other side, it's the same, you see. And here, artistically, he wanted to show the pivot, but he could hide it underneath the bolster, but he wanted to show the pivot because it's a good pivot. It's a nice one with this kind of nice heat coloration. And the color that you have here is a piece of gold. Just that. You see that it's also screwless with the clip, okay? Of course, you're going to see some, you know, some minor discrepancies, I would say, in the finish. But again, I'm not going to, I've talked relentlessly for the first minute about that. This is not a matter of concern. So artistically, everything screams quality from everywhere on this knife. But not only that, look at that. When you look here, on the back, it's not as obvious as I would have liked it to be, because actually he decided for some reason to do a kind of anodization on the liners. When he was doing the work in progress, actually the liners were, you know, the color, the regular color of the titanium, and when you looked at that, you almost thought, you could think that it was an integral and that he did only the milling here on the back of the titanium, and that it was kind of an integral work. And that's just extraordinary. This big backspacer like that really gives you, you know, the impression that it's an integral, which is not that obvious because now you have the anodization. But believe me, follow his Instagram and you will see what I mean. When he did the assembly first without the anodization, it almost looked like it was an integral. And man, is that also another part of artistry and mechanical challenges to give this knife without any kind of screw, the aspect, look at that. I mean, if you turn it like that, believe me, you see no screw, nothing, no hardware appearing anywhere. So that gives you the look of an integral knife. So that's, my friend, is artistry at its highest level, and also truly a mechanical challenge that has been solved by this guy. And that, for that only, I can tell you that it's absolutely phenomenal work, and that will be really hard to do even for the best maker. Now let's see inside. You see that he wanted to keep also the junction here flush with the liner, so he decided not to put a kind of relief cut. And you see the liner are really strong and thick. So look at that. I mean, I didn't tell that, but you know, it's lefty, and I'm from the very start, I'm operating with my left hand, which is usually, for those of you who know me and follow me from the start, you know that my left hand has no other purpose than being a left hand. It's absolutely useless for me, but yet I'm still operating this knife and I can disengage it without a lot. I mean, you put a kind of strength in it, but it's not that much. So the fact that it hasn't got any relief cut shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, we've talked about all the challenges, and there is one that I didn't address, but we're going to do it right now, and that's also, of course, the action on that knife. So that's the kind of engineering aspect that we're going to discuss now. So it's a flipper, and look at that. You see that, you hear that noise. It's absolutely snappy. One of the most snappy knife I've held in my life. You see that also on knives from Enrique Peña. As soon as you're going to have a nice and long backspacer, you will have this kind of snappy action, snappy feeling when you're going to deploy a blade. And on this one, it's even more obvious than others. So the action when you open it is just fantastic. The lock, which is one of the most important things for me on a knife, of course, for a folder, the lock geometry is absolutely perfect. It's almost a flat to start with, and then after that, this curve here. It's absolutely rock solid. No movement side to side, front to front. It's just a vault. This knife is locked like a vault, and I absolutely adore that. No thickness whatsoever. He wanted also here to put a kind of flush, you see, cut here, so you don't have a lot of reach to the liner, and I would have liked, and he will do that for the next knives, that he put a kind of relief here in order to to release the edge that you have here. But even with that, and even with my left hand, I can still disengage it without a lot of problem. So for me, the action on that knife is splendid. The centering, as you can see, it's spot on. The detent, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're not going to break that detent. Is it too strong? Again, look at that. I'm operating with my left hand. Look at that. It's absolutely not too strong of a detent. You don't feel it too much when you deploy the blade. And when you close it, you don't feel, when you break the detent on the other side. So that's something that I absolutely adore. I'll be honest with you, I haven't checked. I would say that it's on bearings, but I haven't checked that. He will correct me. I'm sorry, I haven't checked that. It was not really my concern, but I would say that it's on bearings. So action, detent, absolutely phenomenal. So in order to do a kind of recap, because we are heading really fast to the 15 minutes that I don't want to go over, a knife should cut, a folder should lock, it should have, when it's a custom, some artistry and some mechanical and engineering feature. This knife has it all. What is lacking on this particular one is only a matter of finish, which can be resolved with a nice belt here and some kind of hand rub finish here, and just to adapt the junction here. Other than that, I mean, what is there to say, my friends? I mean, you can see that. Look at that. Look at this nice finish and nice jeweling that he does here on the back here of the back spacer. The liners are kind of polished here. You see the reflection, and they're jeweled also. It's a very, very, very nice. The ergos on it, I mean, you see the marks here. I'm starting to hate the zirconium, I would say. It's not an EDC friendly. It's heavy. It's a soft material. I don't know why. It's just because of the color. We all like it. But I'm starting really to hate it. I don't know, for some reason. I really start to hate that kind of material. But other than that, the ergos on this knife is sublime. The curve that you have on the handle gives you a really nice feel in hand. The choil is perfect. The guard that you have here with the flipper tab is excellent. You don't have no jimping, but for small cutting task, the thumb lays really naturally here on this on the back of the harpoon, and you can do some really nice and precise cutting task here. The edge, I like the edge. I like the edge because it starts, really thin here, and it goes to a larger, wider edge at the end. I like the look. It's a bold looking edge. I absolutely adore that. I wish that a lot of makers would adopt this kind of edge. I love that. Either seen as you can see it, or something like that. Thin here and very large at the tip. What else can I say? Man, I think I will have it. I would change probably the clip. You see the design of the clip. You know what? I think that this side should be the presentation side, actually, because it had all. This is only, double bolster, but here you have these nice touches of the color, of the pivot, of the clip. Yeah, I would call this one the presentation side, probably. Yeah, the clip, I would do it. It breaks the line of the knife. I think you have this curve that is here, and this one is too much curvy, I would say, but it's a matter of design and nothing really bad to address. But of course, another thing that I would do on the clip is to do it a little bit thicker. So you see, this one is, I wouldn't say flimsy, but it's, yeah, the feel that you have is that it's not a really sturdy one, which the rest of the knife is absolutely sturdy. So I would change probably the thickness of the clip, but nothing really crazy. The design is excellent. I absolutely adore the design, either of the handle and also of this blade. So I know for a fact that I'm holding here, and I'm sure that you are aware of that after this review, overview, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure that I have something made by a guy that is at the very least highly talented, and that we are going to appreciate a lot in the years to come. I'm waiting for him to make a knife. hopefully very, very soon. And I'm sure that it will be a perfect one. And there's going to be, of course, a review on this one. Before that, follow him on Instagram. His name is Glenn Hovin. He's also working on the kind of locking system. And I'm sure that he will bring us a lot of surprise in the months and years to come. With that being said, my friend, I'll catch you very soon for another video. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.